I'm 81 years old, and I need to tell you something that nobody else is going to tell you. Everything you're working for right now, all those plans you've made, all those goals you've set, they're not going to save you. I know that sounds harsh, maybe even cruel, but I'm 81, and I don't have time to sugarcoat things anymore. My name is Robert, and I spent 55 years of my life chasing the wrong things. 55 years. That's longer than most of you have been alive. And what I'm about to share with you, it took me more than half a century to figure out. Maybe you'll be smarter than I was. Let me tell you about a Tuesday in 1989. I was 44 years old, sitting in my office on the 23rd floor, senior executive of corner office. My name was on business cards that said, Vice President of Operations. I remember looking out that window at all the little people down below, and I felt powerful, important, like I'd finally made it. That same Tuesday, my daughter Sarah had her first piano recital. She was 8 years old. She'd been practicing for months. She kept asking me, Daddy, are you coming? You're gonna be there, right? And every time I said the same thing, of course, sweetheart, I wouldn't miss it for the world. I missed it. There was an emergency meeting, a client crisis, something that seemed so important at the time, I don't even remember what it was about now. Isn't that something? I can't remember the crisis that was so important. I'd missed my daughter's recital, but I remember the look on her face when I came home that night. She didn't cry. That's what got me. She just looked at me and said, It's okay, Daddy, I know you're busy. She was 8 years old, and she'd already learned not to count on me. You know what the real tragedy is? I didn't even feel that bad about it at the time. I told myself I was building something, providing for my family, making sacrifices so they could have a better life. That's what I told myself every single time I missed a recital, a soccer game, a birthday party, a bedtime story. I was building a prison, and I didn't even know it. Here's what nobody tells you when you're young. The things you think make you successful are the same things that will hollow you out from the inside. I climbed that corporate ladder for 30 years. Every rung felt like an achievement. Every promotion felt like validation. But you know what happens when you spend 30 years climbing? You forget to look around. You forget to look down. You forget there are people at the bottom who need you. By the time I was 55, I had everything I thought I wanted. The title, the salary, the stock options, the respect of my peers, and I was miserable, absolutely miserable. But I couldn't admit it, not to anyone, not even to myself. You want to know when I finally figured it out? It wasn't some dramatic moment. It wasn't a heart attack or a near-death experience. It was a phone call. I was 58 years old, 3 in the morning. My phone rang. It was Sarah. She was 26 then, married, living 2 states away, and she was crying, really crying. Her marriage was falling apart. She needed her father. She needed to talk. She needed someone to just listen. And you know what I did? I listened. For 3 hours, I just listened. And somewhere around hour 2, it hit me like a freight train. I didn't know my daughter, not really. She was telling me about her life, her struggles, her dreams, her fears, and I was hearing most of it for the first time. This woman, this incredible, complicated, beautiful human being was a stranger to me, and it was entirely my fault. After that call, I couldn't go back to sleep. I sat in my study until the sun came up, and I did something I hadn't done in years. I really thought about my life, about my choices, about what I traded away. Here's what I realized at 58 years old. Success is a scam. Not the achievement itself, but the way we define it, the way we chase it, the way we sacrifice everything else for it. We tell ourselves we're doing it for our families, for our children, to give them a better life, but that's a lie. We're doing it for ourselves, for our egos, to prove to the world, and maybe to ourselves, that we're worth something. And the cruelest part, the world doesn't care. I had a colleague Richard, he worked with me for 15 years, smart guy, dedicated, gave everything to the company. He died of a stroke at 63. The company sent flowers to his funeral and hired his replacement before the week was out. That's the truth. Nobody wants to admit. Your company doesn't love you. Your career doesn't care about you. That corner office, that title, that salary, they're not loyalty. They're a transaction. And the moment you can't deliver, the moment you're not useful anymore, you'll find out exactly how much you're worth to them. I'm 81 now. I've been retired for 14 years. And let me tell you what I think about when I think about my career. Nothing. I don't think about the deals I closed. I don't think about the promotions I earned. I don't think about the presentations I gave or the strategies I developed. Those things are dust. They meant nothing. They were dust while I was doing them, but I was too blind to see it. You know what I do think about? I think about Sarah's piano recital, the one I missed. I think about my son's basketball games. I went to maybe 3 out of 20. I think about my wife sitting at the dinner table alone, waiting for me to come home. I think about the vacations we postponed, the conversations we never had, the moments that are gone forever. I think about what I gave up. And for what? For a paycheck that bought us things we didn't need. For recognition from people who don't remember my name anymore. For a career that forgot about me the day I retired. Let me tell you something about regret. Regret doesn't feel the way you think it does. It's not this sharp, painful thing. It's a dull ache, a constant awareness that you had chances and you wasted them. It's looking at your daughter realizing you missed her childhood because you were too busy being important. It's lying in bed at night and adding up all the dinners you missed, all the bedtime stories you didn't read, all the little moments you traded away for things that don't matter, and you can't get them back. That's the part that kills you. You can't get them back. I have 3 grandchildren now, beautiful kids, and when I look at them, I see a second chance. I'm not too busy for them. I'm never too busy for them because I learned the hard way that too busy is just another way of saying you're not important enough. My grandson, he's 7. He asked me last week if I could help him build a birdhouse, and I stopped everything, cleared my schedule. We spent 4 hours in my garage hammering and sawing and laughing. 4 hours. And you know what? Those 4 hours meant more than entire years of my career. That's what I figured out too late. The moments, the little moments, that's where life happens. Not in boardrooms, not in quarterly reports, not in performance reviews. Life happens in your garage building a birdhouse. With your grandson, life happens at the dinner table with your family. Life happens in the car, on a road trip to nowhere in particular. But we've been taught to believe those moments don't matter. We've been taught that what matters is productivity, achievement, success, getting ahead, making more money, climbing higher. And it's all lies, every bit of it. You want to know what matters? People, just people. The people you love and who love you back. That's it. That's the whole secret. That's what I spent 55 years failing to understand. Your children won't remember how much money you made. They'll remember whether you were there. Your spouse won't care about your job title. They'll care about whether you were present, whether you listened, whether you showed up. I see young people today, same age I was back then, making the same mistakes, working 70, 80-hour weeks, missing their kids' childhoods, telling themselves it's temporary, just a few more years, just until they make partner, just until they hit their number. And I want to grab them by the shoulders and shake them and tell them, stop, just stop. You're on the wrong path. The prize at the end isn't worth what you're giving up to get there. But they won't listen. I know they won't listen because I wouldn't have listened either. When you're in it, when you're climbing, you can't see how meaningless it all is. You think you're building something important. You think you're special. You think your situation is different. It's not different. You're not special, and what you're building will crumble. Let me tell you about my friend Thomas. We started at the company the same year. He was smarter than me, more talented, better at everything. He made CEO at 52, top of the mountain, everything we'd both been chasing. Thomas died at 67, cancer. I visited him in the hospital 2 weeks before he passed, and you know what he told me? He said, "Robert, I wish I'd failed. I wish I'd been mediocre. Because then maybe I would have gone home at 5 p.m., maybe I would have coached my kids' soccer team, maybe I would have actually lived the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, and his dying wish was that he'd been less successful." Let that sink in. Here's the truth that took me 8 decades to learn. You are enough right now. Today, exactly as you are. You don't need the promotion. You don't need the bigger house. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. The finish line you're chasing, it doesn't exist. You'll get the promotion and immediately start wanting the next one. You'll buy the house and start wanting a bigger one. You'll make $1 million and suddenly need 2 million. It never ends. The chasing never ends until you decide to stop chasing. And here's the really scary part. One day you're going to be my age. One day you're going to be 81 years old, and you're going to look back and you're going to add up all your choices, all the moments you traded away, all the people you neglected, all the experiences you postponed, and you're going to have to live with that every single day for the rest of your life. You're going to have to live with the realization that you wasted your one precious life chasing things that didn't matter. Or you could make different choices. You could decide today that your time with your children matters more than your career. You could decide today that dinner with your spouse is more important than another late night at the office. You could decide today that you're going to be present, actually present, not physically there, but mentally checked out, but really there, really listening, really engaged. I spent 55 years living for tomorrow, always tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll slow down. Tomorrow I'll spend more time with family. Tomorrow I'll finally live. But tomorrow is a lie. There's only today, right now, this moment. And you're either living it or you're trading it away for a future that may never come. I'm 81 years old. If I'm lucky, maybe 5 more years, maybe 10, probably less, and I'm okay with that. I made my peace with it. But I'm not okay with watching another generation make the same mistakes I made. So I'm telling you, wake up, look around, look at the people who love you, look at the moments you're missing right now while you're busy being busy. Your career will forget you, your achievements will fade, your success will mean nothing, but the moments you share with the people you love, those are real, those matter. Those are the only things that ever really mattered. Stop waiting. Stop postponing. Stop telling yourself you'll make time later. Later is a lie. Later might never come. I missed my daughter's piano recital 37 years ago, and I still think about it almost every day. That's regret. That's the price of putting your career first. Don't pay that price. It's too high, and by the time you realize how high it is, it'll be too late to get your money back. I'm 81 years old. I've learned this the hard way, so you don't have to. The clock is ticking. Can you hear it? Every second that passes is a second you'll never get back. What are you going to do with the seconds you have left? Keep chasing success or start living? The choice is yours, but make it soon. Because I promise you, you have less time than you think. If this resonates with you, share it. Tell someone who needs to hear it. And leave a comment telling me what you're going to change. What moment are you going to stop missing? Subscribe if you want to hear more, because I'm 81 years old and I've got more truth to tell while I still have time. The clock is ticking. What are you going to do?